I'm Chewy Mew, but my real name is Eric, and welcome to another Chewy Mew review, where today we're taking a look at the first figure in the Toybiz Marvel Legends Sinister 6 box set, and that is Spider-Man. Played with all these guys a bunch, so a bunch of them have like some battle scars, you could say. The first one, let's take a look at the face of this guy first. Put my hand in front, take a look at the face. Pretty good looking face, has a very, to me, in my opinion, it looks like kind of like a McFarlane kind of style head. You notice he's got some scratches right there. Some more on the other side of the neck. And that is because, sadly, this figure's neck broke. I don't remember how it broke, but it did. Originally, the neck, you could move it up and down, but now it's stuck. So it broke from here. So this figure, the neck could move down here. Like this neck part, you could rotate it, and then you could rotate the head separately. You can move the head up and down, left and right. And the neck, you could lean forward and back and stuff. But they both broke somehow. I don't remember how they broke, but, you know, since I got this when I was like 4 years old, kind of makes sense why it got a little bit damaged. Compare that to this figure I got when I was 2 years old, and look how badly this one's damaged. This guy's so damaged that guy looks kind of normal. But yeah, unfortunately, the neck broke, which sucks. It's still an awesome figure, just can't move the neck and stuff. Like, I can't pose him and have the neck moved. Also, he came with a cape too, which I actually, believe it or not, I didn't lose the cape. The cape didn't get destroyed. I just, as a kid, I never cared about the cape. I just took the cape off, and my mom saved it, which I'm glad about that. And I gave the cape to another figure that I think the cape works a lot better on. Or not the cape, I guess it technically is like a cape, like the, you know, the web back thing he's got. Like the first appearance Spider-Man has that, like the web gliding thing. I'm not too sure what it's called. I'm just going to call it a cape. So, but, you know, either way, this figure looks off. Take a look at the spider here. The sculpt on this guy is really good. Look at that spider logo. Spider logo looks really good. Boy, I don't know why the camera's getting funky there. Like, the back looks crazy bright. There's a spider on the back. The spider on the back looks like your traditional Spider-Man, like, circle spider logo, except this one looks like kind of like creepy looking spider. Like the arms are pokey, like everything about it makes it look kind of creepy-ish. And I think in a good way. This figure, to me, this Spider-Man figure looks kind of like first off, he looks too muscular for, you know, typical Peter Parker Spider-Man. You put him back, like, look, like the shoulders are big. The shoulders are big, obviously, because all the articulation they give the figure in Toybiz didn't yet know how to make the figure super articulated without having big shoulders, which on this figure, the big shoulders look perfectly fine. On some figures, it looks kind of funky, but this one, it looks perfectly fine. But he's got some thick legs, got some thick pectorals, thick shoulders and stuff. Like, look at those legs, they're thick. Also, another thing which some people complain about these figures, about Toybiz, like, oh, the legs, joints look like balls. It looks weird, which they do have like the ball-looking leg joints here. But on this guy, because how thick the thighs are, because those thighs are thick, or as Eddie Brock would say, looking good, Spidey. But yeah, just the way they make the thighs look thick, you can't, the ball joint, balls, leg thing, whatever that's called, it looks good. Like, you can't really tell. You can tell if you look up close. If you look up close, you can tell. But from far away, you can't really tell. And while we're here, let's look at the leg detail. Like, all of this is sculpted very good. Like, it has, like, this rough texture. Like, it feels kind of, like, I don't know, like, blue jeans. Kind of feels the way the Sandman figure, the Spider-Man Classic Sandman figure looks. You can see some of the veins popping out there. The knee and stuff. The joints are still dark colored, surprisingly. I'm surprised the paint didn't come off on those. You've got the boot here. The boot looks like just plain red, and then they slapped on a bunch of this red paint, which, that's not a bad thing. On the bottom of the foot here, I think this one says, it should say 2004. Come on, camera, focus. 2004 Marvel Entertainment, and you can see even, like, the details on you can even see, like, my fingerprint details. Wow, I never noticed the camera could do that before. This one says Toybiz Worldwide 2004. The TBWW stands for Toybiz Worldwide. And like I said earlier, like I said a little bit ago, the figure looks like they took a regular red Spider-Man, they threw a bunch of black on it, which, like, if you look at this shoulder, I don't know why this shoulder doesn't have, like, any like black paint. It's just like plain red, and then this one has a bunch of it, like a bunch of slathered paint on there. So does the face. The face looks kind of the cleanest, but you can still see they put some blackness on it. On the neck, you can see some blackness too. On the chest, you can see with those huge pectorals, like I'm gonna be honest, this Spider-Man has kind of like a Captain America body, like big pectorals, big ab muscles sticking out, all like the joints or like all the like the thickness, everything about it. Pretty much like only the arms, like even the arms kind of look. The arms kind of about like everything below the shoulder looks good, Peter Parker, like typical Spider-Man, and then everything below the knee, everything below the knee looks normal, but like he looks like a really buff Spider-Man, and I'm not complaining about it. That's a really, really good thing. That I think that looks really cool. I don't know if this has any root in comic book or this is like a thing Toybiz made up. Like look at the arm here, but regardless, it looks really cool. Like very muscular. You can see each finger moves independently there. There's the other side of the hand. They didn't sculpt a web shooter on, which honestly, if it doesn't have a web shooter sculpted on, it doesn't bug me, as long as it's not missing something really important like a spider logo. And then here's the inside of the arm. The paint wore off from inside there, inside the shoulder joint, which, because how much I played with it. Or I think it was actually, I think it was actually always red, because you can see it's kind of red there. I think it was always red on the underside. I don't know why this shoulder looks like it doesn't have any paint, and when you look at it on the back here on the arm, you can see the elbow there doesn't have much dark red paint on it. And like I said earlier, the figure looks like they smeared black paint over top of it. I think that looks really good. I'm not complaining. I think that looks really good. And kind of like what they did with what's it called? Spider-Man 2099, where in the comic books his suit is black with a bunch of blue shading. They ended up making all the figures blue. I don't think this is a case where it's like, oh, his suit's light red and they put so much shading that it looks really, really dark red. I think this was on purpose. I think they purposefully made the figure, I think they purposefully made it look like this. Like they intentionally made the Spider-Man look this way, which I think that looks awesome. Like I feel like this Spider-Man costume, like Peter Parker, he took the costume, made it like this red and blue color, and then smeared a bunch of dark colors over it to give it like this kind of dark tone. Like if they were to make like a dark Spider-Man movie, like a Spider-Man movie that was kind of like dark, not like I guess kind of like Spider-Man Noir, except not like just a dark. If they were to make I feel like if they were to make a rated R Spider-Man movie, like kind of like a creepy Spider-Man movie, like where the villains are kind of disturbing looking kind of thing. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like this Spider-Man, like, it's kind of a buff Spider-Man. It's more buff than typical Peter Parker Spider-Man is. I still love this figure. It just, none of the stuff I'm saying is bad. Like, the darkness to it's not bad. The muscularness, not bad. I think all of it collectively works really good. Like, I just imagine this is, like, a really tough Peter Parker that, like a tough kind of world. Like, a rated R Spider-Man movie. I feel like that guy would work, this figure would work really awesome for that. Or like this suit design. But let's look at his articulation. So the head, sadly, would rotate all the way around, but it doesn't anymore. It would also look up and down really, really good. The neck joint here could rotate independently from the head, and it could lean forward and back good as well, but sometimes life sucks like that. The arms can go all the way out like this. They can rotate all the way around, and he has the butterfly joint, which goes in good and goes out pretty good. The one on the left is looser than the one on the right. The one on the right, I've always been scared that it's going to break off the joint right there, the little joint, little tiny joint. When you move it, I feel like it's going to break. You see how it wiggles a lot? This one's very free. Also, he did have this joint where the arm goes out like this. Like you can see how it makes a hole. There's like a big hole where that joint comes out of in order to give him do stuff like that. This one's really, really stuck. I'm not going to try pulling it. I don't want to risk breaking the arm off. So, like, some of these joints as a kid, I was always afraid to move stuff. Like, the fingers, I didn't move the fingers too much. I didn't move these butterfly joints that much because I was always afraid I was going to break off the arm. And the torso waist here, or the torso thing, whatchamacallit, goes back really, really far. Goes forward really far. The only thing is mine is a little bit loose. The arms rotate all the way around right here. I don't know if I showed that. Double bend in the elbow. Rotation here at the start of his glove. A very good hinge in the wrist. And each finger, you zoom in here, or focus rather, each finger moves individually. The index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. So you can obviously get him to do the good old Spider-Man fist, or just, you know, kind of regular fist. This hand looks kind of funky when you do the fist, whereas on this hand, when you put him into a fist, it looks really good. It looks like an actual fist. So typically I pose him with the left hand having a fist. Actually, maybe it's because I'm left-handed. I always typically pose my figures having the, having the left-handed, having the figures, like, have the, like, the main pose in the left hand kind of thing, where you can see it looks pretty good. The web shooter on the left hand looks better than the one on the right. Just like the fingers on the left hand, they made them kind of, I don't know, the fingers on the left hand just seem kind of better. Like when you do the web shooting on this hand, you see how they don't look even. Like the one on his left looks kind of, I don't know, to me it just looks better than the one on the right. Like if you look at it from the side, the fingers look really kind of crooked, where on the left they look kind of crooked but not nearly as bad. And put the fingers back to normal like that. Rotate the hand, get them adjusted like that. Okay. Alright, nice. So the waist also rotates. I moved the arms so they're out of the way for this. The waist rotates all the way around. It was loose, so I put some glue dots to hold it back, because this was really, really, really loose. I don't know why, but it was. The legs don't kick up too high. They kick up about 90 degrees, but not crazy high. He can almost do the splits. He barely can't do the splits because he's so thick like that. He rotates on the upper thigh. Double bend in the knee. Very good double bend in the knee there. Rotation here in the boot. The foot hinges, the ankle hinges forward and back really good. He has a slight ankle pivot, not too much. And the toe bends back. Not too much, but just enough to get him on like a toe, like a kneeling kind of position, you know? But that's going to be all for this figure. I think it's a really awesome figure. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Spider-Man figure, but I also don't view this as like your typical regular Spider-Man. I view this as like, this is like some Peter Parker from like a dark, gritty world, like kind of something on par with like the Arkham Knight games, or like I don't remember the names, I think Batman Arkham Asylum games, where his suit looks like kind of dark, like it's kind of, everything's dark, everything's graphic looking. I feel like this Spider-Man works good in like a rated R kind of Spider-Man sense. Like, I don't know if other countries use rated R and stuff, but in the United States, rated R is like movies that have a lot of swearing or dark stuff, kind of like, what's it called, like Deadpool. Deadpool's rated R, whereas the regular superhero movies are PG-13. That's just, I don't know if the ratings are like that in other parts of the world. I know that they're like that in the United States, but like, I don't know, that's just how I view this Spider-Man. Let me just think about this Spider-Man. And also, if you like the video, leave a like. If you have any friends you think would want to watch these reviews, share the video with them. I hate to be that guy, but, I really want this channel to expand. I want people to see these reviews. When I work on future Spider-Man projects, fan edits, stuff like that, I want people to be able to see these. But either way, that's going to be all for this video. I will see you guys in the next review. Wow!